All right, hi, welcome everyone to our Jeunesse family and welcome everyone to this sharing. So today I'm going to share something very interesting, okay? It's called the triple power of RevitaBlu using your own stem cells. So I'll be sharing with you a lot of revelation about how our body works on a stem cell level and how it actually helps you improve your immune system. But what's very interesting is I'm going to share with you some statistics right now first about COVID-19, okay? So here's the interesting part. Now, all of us realize that COVID-19 affects most older people rather than younger people, but how much more and the reason and why, okay? Basically, I'll answer that first. So first, a team of researchers picked through all hospital admission and death and reported for people younger than 18 years old in England, okay? And they discovered that COVID-19 caused about 25 young children death below 18 years old between March 2020 and February 2021. Now, about half of those deaths were individuals with an underlying complex disability. That means with healthcare needs. That means actually out of the 25 children who died, half of them actually already have existing health issues. Okay, they already have some disability. So actually the amount of death for kids from COVID-19 actually is about 12. Now, compare that to the amount of total death in England is 165,000. So think about it, 12 out of 165,000 deaths, which is super low for children below 18 years old. But why? Why is that so? Okay, so another thing I want to talk about is cancer statistics. Okay, now you can see that cancer statistics are very low. Okay, there are less than 25 young children below 20 years old that has cancer for every 100,000 children that are below 20 years old. Okay, 25 out of 100,000. However, at 45 to 59, there are 350 people who get cancer for every 100,000 people within 45 to 49 years old. However, for every 100,000 people in the age group of 60 years and older, 1,000 of them get cancer. Okay, so 1,000 out of 100,000 of 60 years old and above gets cancer. But why? Okay, why does cancer rate? And the cancer rate has been going up according to Singapore statistics. We have been going up year after year. So the amount of cancer in this incidence rate, that means the amount of people reportedly to have cancer, has increased by 200% over from 1968 to 2017. Okay, and the fortunate thing is that Singapore is ranked number 42 for highest cancer rates globally. The highest cancer rate globally, unfortunately, I don't know why, is Australia. And I always thought that Australia had very healthy food and people eat healthily there. But cancer rate is the highest in the world is Australia, followed by New Zealand. Well, they happen to be quite close to each other. Something about that part of the world that increases cancer rates. I'm not sure why. They just happen to be 1 and 2. So Australia is number 1, New Zealand is number 2, Ireland number 3, Hungary number 4, USA is number 5. South Korea, which we thought that people should be more healthy because we have a lot of supplements on South Korea. South Korea, in terms of number of people getting cancer, is number 14 in the world. Aren't we glad that, or if you're in Singapore, you should be glad that you're ranked 42 in the world, okay, for incidence of getting cancer. However, it's still a lot, 200% over the many years, okay? Now, here's some question I want to ask you this, okay? Do you care about what you eat when you get older? Now, obviously you do. The older you get, the more you're health conscious, so you eat healthier, right? Do you care about what you eat when you were younger? Interesting, right? When you were younger, I remember when I was younger, I ate a lot of McDonald's and burgers. I didn't care. I ate a lot of sweets, candies, chewy candies while studying. Like I could eat non-stop, all the snacks. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but I used to eat snacks like non-stop and couldn't care less about, all the whatever health. I don't even have anything about thinking about must eat healthily, all I do is just eat all my snacks and I feel nothing is happening to me. So interestingly, why is it that we get way less health problems eating unhealthily when we're younger? Okay, we get way less health problems eating unhealthily when you're younger, but we get more health problems when we are trying to eat more healthier as we get older. Interestingly, right? How can you be more health conscious, eat healthier, but then you get more disease? Okay, here's the reason why, okay? But I also want to tell you why your body can actually prevent every kind of viruses, bacteria, and fungi that attacks your body, okay? But how many type of viruses can your body fight? You want to guess? How many viruses can your body fight? There is like, if COVID-19 is not just the only virus that's going to come and attack, you know, there's going to be other kind of virus next year, the year after. If history is to repeat itself, right? Historically, there's been a lot of new virus that's been released into the environment, all right, over time because of virus mutation. And in future, COVID-19 is not the last, you know, there's going to be a lot more other new virus that's going to come, okay? But how many viruses can your body fight? Can you make a guess? Okay. Okay, so that depends on how many antibodies your body can create, because every antibody is like a weapon that is specifically targeted to only that specific virus or foreign body. Okay, so how many kinds of foreign thing entering your body can your antibodies fight? Depends on how many kind of antibodies your body can create. And according to science, your human body can make up to 1 quintillion unique antibodies. That means 18 zeros. Okay, 18 zeros of antibodies. That's how much your body, how much antibodies can create. In other words, any virus that's happening in the past, present, and future, your body can still defend itself. Now, here's the thing. Then why do actually people die from COVID? Why? Okay, it's something to do with the immune system. Here's why. Okay, in order for the antibodies to fight against COVID-19, the problem is it will take some time for your body to figure out, and later on I'll show you the science. Okay, it's going to be very interesting how the body actually figure out what kind of antibodies to create for the right kind of virus that is just entering your body. It's as if someone invaded your country, an alien that you never see before, all right, in your country, and therefore you do not know how to attack it, you don't know how to make it die, because you use what you last time know, which is your gun or whatever, right? But you don't know how to kill it because it's the first time you encounter it. So what you do, you go and do research, you work with your scientists and your researcher to try to find a unique way to attack this virus. Okay, and it's going to take some time, it's not immediately. Likewise, your body actually has your thymus and your lymphatic nodes is the headquarters where any new virus comes. Everyone, they'll go to the headquarters, which later I'll explain to you how it works. Go to headquarters and take some time to research before they can create the right antibodies to fight the virus. However, for that to happen, it takes about 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, so it takes about 1 to 2 weeks. Now, within that 1 to 2 weeks, if we don't have, you cannot produce the right antibodies yet, your body can be attacked by the virus and spread. So before it can create antibodies, your virus already spread and has already attacked your body. So the reason why people die from COVID is because the inflammation, it's called hyperinflammation, by the way, that happens before the antibodies before the antibodies for the virus can be created. So while waiting for reinforcement to arrive, what will happen is inflammation becomes hyperactive. Okay, so how does inflammation harm your body? Well, it will trigger your immune system to attack the healthy tissues and organ in your body. So not only does inflammation attack your current organ cells, the virus is also spreading and attacking at the same time. So when there's inflammation plus the virus attacking, is dual, you know, and during that period of time, if you cannot wait 1 to 2 weeks before antibodies is created, that's when a lot of people experience death, especially older folks. But why not younger folks? Reason was because younger folks are able to reduce the inflammation and does not make it hyperactive. And so basically, I've shown you right now that if inflammation becomes hyperactive, you can see all the research papers that I've shown to you right now. Okay, that shows, you know, what happens when inflammation becomes hyperactive. Okay, when you're COVID-19. Now, and it's a daily doer. Okay, when you have COVID-19 and cancer, COVID-19 actually causes cancer to become even worse, because when there's inflammation, it allows the cancer to spread even faster. So therefore, the COVID-19 actually further increased the suffering of cancer patients towards death. Okay, And this is the science that I've shown you guys as well. So is there any way to reduce inflammation? Yes. So according to science research recently, stem cells, mesenchymal stem cells, MSCS, have been shown to exert profound means wow, amazing, anti-inflammatory effects. Okay, basically it brings down the amount of stem cell release, it brings down a certain kind of reduced inflammation, which later on I'll share with you how we come to have inflammation from a graphical point of view, from a story point of view. Okay, from a story point of view, and then how the inflammation came, and along with the inflammation, how does stem cells suppress it? Okay, later I'll explain to you. So stem cells are immune cells and they can decrease inflammation. Okay, now what happens that it shows you that stem cell therapy for severe COVID-19, and I read a research where there were a group of people who were all in ICU. Everyone was given stem cell therapy. Within 3 days, not only are they out of ICU, they were discharged from the hospital using stem cell. Okay, and this research paper is very current. As you can see, what I've shown you is all just end of last year. Okay, in this trial, 24 subject randomized assigned 101, and basically they had stem cell therapy and with significant and have particularly attention because of inability to modulate immune system, inhibit inflammation. The stem cell therapy has helped reduce inflammation, right? Not only that, it also can do repair. Stem cell therapy can repair lungs if it is effective and can transplant a new plant, fully restoring respiratory function. Okay, so basically it can repair the cells in the lungs that are damaged. It can repair. The third thing it can do is very interesting. Now, most of you may not know this, but they discovered only last year. Now, of course, this virus is new, but the after effects of the virus, you only can know right now. Okay, after the whole thing is over, right? So after effects already, they discovered that a lot of people who suffered and recovered from COVID-19 have lasting lung scars. Okay, new studies, okay? Long-term impacts of lung damage. How does catching COVID affect my lungs? So lung tissue, basically 4 months after COVID-19 associated with scarring, lung scarring, permanent, okay? Read here, permanent lung scarring. That means your lung isn't as good as it was after you get COVID. Okay, so this is a healthy lungs here, this is an X-ray, and this is the COVID scarred lungs, right? And is there a way to solve this? Now, if you read this, increasing stem cells can regenerate new cells to get rid of scar lungs. And according to this research, most recent research, according to the Sydney School of Pharmacology and also Imperial College London and University Technology of Sydney, a number of medicine, they wrote this, a number of medicine are currently under investigation for treatment of COVID-19 disease, including antiviral, that means to fight against the virus, which is using the vaccination, okay, anti-malarial, anti-inflammatory agent, okay. While these treatments can improve the recovery and survival, these therapeutics do not lead to restoration of lung damage inflicted by this disease. So it does not restore at all, okay? Vaccination does not restore the damage that's caused to your lungs. However, stem cell therapies and more recently, okay, have emerged as new promising treatment which accentuate inflammation, that means reduce inflammation, but also regenerate lung damage caused by COVID-19. The scars can be regenerated back, can grow back the lungs back to normal using stem cells. So now I'm going to share with you where is the part that increases your inflammation before the antibodies arrive, and how if you have not much stem cells in your body left, then the inflammation will overtake your lungs and kill your lungs before your antibodies can arrive. So let's start the journey. So one day, imagine the cells is you. You are in this world, okay? And you are, all the cells are planets of the people. And then one day, aliens came to attack. You have never seen this kind of alien before, all right? So aliens are this green little thing that come to attack, okay? So when they came and attack, you start calling out, help, help, help. So basically, when the cells get attacked, they start calling out as well. So they release signals. They don't use sound, they release chemical signals, okay? What happens is that when you release chemical, the first weapon that will come and attack the virus, okay, are called macrophages. Okay, macro. Okay, not micro. Macro. Macro means big. But why macro? Why are they big phages? Okay, big because how big are they? Okay, so basically, if you compare the size of a cell, so imagine if the size of a cell is the size of a man, then a macrophage is the cell of a rhinoceros. Okay, a rhinoceros. So you can see the yellow color cells here, right, with hands poking out. What they do is macrophages, okay, will go and grab the bacteria and eat it and swallow it and kill it. Okay, it goes and eat it. So basically, you're calling out, help, 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 and then you release this animal, all right, to go out and eat all the aliens. Okay, you release this animal called macrophages, this rhinoceros that can eat aliens. Okay, so once you release it, right, the macrophages knows that it's not enough. Rhinoceros not enough. So rhinoceros call for reinforcement. It calls for another group of so-called another group of weapons. Okay, animals. Maybe it's animal. Okay, or weapon. Okay, another group of weapon. The rhinoceros call for another group of weapon called neutrophils. Hey, neutrophils, come! I need you to come. I alone cannot kill the virus. I need reinforcement. I need more. So the neutrophils come from where? They escape from. They actually come out. They exit out from your blood vessels. Okay, so you can see all these are the blood platelets, right? So inside there are your neutrophils, and neutrophils are your white blood cells. Okay, so your neutrophils, which is your white blood cell, will exit out, right, from the blood vessels, and as they exit out from the blood vessels, along comes with the blood fluid, okay, that also flow out together. So the blood fluid would fill up the area, and that's why you get swelling. That's why your lungs will swell when you get inflammation. Have you ever got bitten by a mosquito? If you have, you'll really notice that it will swollen up because of all the fluid that's flowing in there. And you know that at that point in time, you can know, oh, my neutrophils are already there. Macrophages are also there to attack the virus, as well as your neutrophils are there. And that's why there's a lot of fluid coming in. So along with all this fluid coming in, it also damages your, and by the way, your neutrophils, what it does is neutrophils releases poison to attack the virus. Now, the neutrophils does not know specifically which one is the virus to attack. It does not specifically attack that virus. It knows the virus is somewhere around the area. So what it does, it just anyhow shoot. Okay, it knows the virus is somewhere around there. So definitely anyhow shoot. So anyhow shoot poison everywhere, which means some of the human will get, some of the cells will get damaged. Okay, and the fluid is flooding in, and the whole place is flooded. So not only is it flooded, it's damaging. Like, you know, have you seen flood damaging houses? Yes, that's what happens with inflammation. The houses are like your cells also. Okay, the flood comes in, damages the cells. At the same time, the neutrophils are splitting poison all over to kill the cells, and also damaging the cells, damaging your cells at the same time. Okay, and then what happens? It's like, then you realize it's not enough to kill. I need reinforcement. So basically, interestingly, you have one more cell, which is very interesting, called dendritic cell. So dendritic cell, I will call this dendritic cell, the one that you see over here with a blue eye and a pink color body with, you know, many hands. Okay, so this dendritic cell, the pink color thing, right? I will call it. I will call this dendritic cell a messenger. I'll call him a messenger. Okay, so what's his role? Basically, what he does is that he takes the cell, the bacteria, he breaks the bacteria apart, which means he destroys the bacteria, and then he sticks the body parts of the, interesting, he stick the body part of the virus all over his body. Can you imagine? You kill the alien, all right? You are the, imagine if you are the dendritic cell, you kill the aliens, you take their parts of the body and you stick it over your body. Why would you do that? Okay, interestingly, what happens is that once it collects the body of the virus and it sticks all over the body, it will go and travel into the lymph nodes. Okay, it will travel into the lymph nodes. And when it travels in the lymph node, it's going to the headquarters where it produces the headquarters. Remember just that, okay, backtrack a little bit. I mentioned about just some of the neutrophils and all the fluid flow out, right, and cause inflammation. Yes, so all the fluid go out, cause inflammation, plus the poison released by neutrophil attacks even more cells. If your body is hyperinflamed, which means you're not able to stop the neutrophils, and stem cells have been known, increasing number of stem cells can suppress the neutrophils, from coming in too many, right? From suppressing it from coming too many. So it will have inflammation, but it will not become hyperinflammation until your lungs is damaged, until your organ is damaged. It can suppress it. So stem cells can suppress the number of neutrophils that are being released into the area that has virus, can suppress it less, okay? If hyperinflation means too many neutrophils released out with all the fluid from the blood, that's how it causes a lot of damage, the flood. Remember I talked about the flood? Okay, so back to dendritic cells. So the messenger, okay, the messenger in war times, you remember that they always send a guy that ride the horse and bring the message across to the enemy or somewhere. Okay, so dendritic cell takes the body parts of the virus, quickly go into the lymph nodes. Lymph nodes travel to the lymph headquarters, okay, the lymphatic system headquarters, and your thymus there. And then basically what is he looking for? Okay, so he takes the body parts of the virus and he goes around screaming. He goes around, no, not screaming, he doesn't scream. He just touch a lot of cells. So basically lymphatic node inside is full of these cells called T cells. Okay, so T cells function, right, is meant to kill specific virus. But the T cells, there are billions of different kinds of T cells, okay, all kinds of T cells for all kinds of virus, okay, in that lymphatic area, okay, all kinds. So basically this dendritic cell would take the body parts and display out, okay, and go and rub against all the different kind of T cells out there, okay. But basically there's two categories of T cells that is trying to rub to find. One is the killer T cell, one is the helper T cells. So the messenger it's like taking the parts of the virus and asking all the T cells, you recognize this? You recognize this? You recognize this shape? You recognize this shape? It belongs to this virus. Do you recognize this alien? Do you recognize the alien? And somehow, because you can produce 1 quintillion kind of antibodies, right? So all kinds of T cells that recognize all kinds of viruses are there, and you will find, usually after 1 or 2 weeks, the dendritic cell would manage to find the killer T cell that says, I know that body part, it belongs to the virus, and I know what virus. So it comes and it latch on to the dendritic cell. And then another helper T cell says, yeah, I also recognize that virus, that virus parts. And then it comes and lock on to the dendritic cell. And the dendritic cell will activate these 2 cells. So once these 2 cells are activated, because they realize that these 2 cells, helper and T cells, can now recognize the virus and attack specifically only the virus already. Okay, then they will multiply. So the T killer cells will multiply into what kind of cells? I call this suicide whisperer. Okay, why do I call that suicide whisperer? Okay, basically the killer cells will actually multiply and go to the affected area, like your mosquito bite area or area that's inflammation where virus attack. It'll go there and goes to the cells, all those cells that are infected by the virus, and it will whisper, please kill yourself. Right? So this cell will activate the infected cell to self-destruct and commit suicide before they can damage the body. Amazing, right? And somehow they don't, when they destroy themselves, they don't release toxic. It's like they kill themselves from within. Okay? So basically, the killer T cell is, I call it the whisperer killer. Okay? Because he whisper to the infected cells and the infected cell die. So imagine the aliens came and infected your friends and they became alien also. And then this whisperer go and whisper something to them and then they kill themselves and then they die. Okay? Before they could infect other people. Okay? Interesting, right? So the killer cells. And then how about the helper cell? Now it's helper because it doesn't kill anything. So what does it do? Basically, I call this helper cell. I call this the hallelujah cell or maybe the motivational cell. Why? Because the helper cell will multiply and they go into the cell, the area where all the viruses are. And what they do is they go to the macrophages. Remember I told you the macrophages first to attack, right? But usually macrophages after attack for a while, they become inactive because they become tired. What happens? The helper cell will go to these macrophages and tell them specifically kill which virus, and tell them and motivate them. And then this macrophages will come alive again and start fighting like a raging bull. Okay, yeah, that's what it does. So it will activate, the T cell will activate macrophages to go even more fierce, okay, to attack. And then it also activates another cell called B cell. Now, basically, the T cell will also go around, go around T cell with the hands to find the right B cell that recognizes the virus part, okay? And once the right B cell recognizes the virus part, the B cell can produce the right weapon called antibodies. So imagine antibodies as bullets, the right bullet, right, that only kill this kind of virus. So the B cell, when they found, the B cell will multiply, and B cell will go to the area where there's war happening, of course, and it will shoot out antibodies specifically just to kill this kind of virus, right? And this is how your body, so your body can produce 1 quintillion kind of T cells, which means you can produce almost 1 quintillion different kind of B cell soldiers that specifically target, that can multiply to attack different kind of the virus. Okay. Now the thing is, a lot of people ask me this question, Winston, if the virus comes and attack once already, it takes about 1 to 2 weeks. If the virus comes again, will it take 1 to 2 weeks again? Here's the interesting part. Once you get the virus attack your body once, your T cell, after it does its work already, right, it converts into a T memory cell. It converts memory cell, and it just floats around. All right, it converts into memory cell. Why is this memory cell? The memory cell is floating around because this memory cell, right, is floating around close, no need to produce in masses. They already exist in masses in your body. They just float around. In case the same virus come and attack again, they can immediately respond because they already attacked this virus before. That's why they got memory. That's why it's called memory T cell. They got memory of this, and that's why they multiply, but they still stay inside your immune system, right? Whereas if it's a new virus, this T cell that can recognize virus has not been produced before yet. So it takes 2 weeks to research to produce it. But once it produces it, right, many of this same T cell that recognizes the virus, or B cell recognizes virus, is actually now produced a lot and is floating around on the surface already. So that anytime the virus comes, they immediately recognize already, right? So that's why vaccine works, because vaccine creates like kind of like a fake virus to go in first. And that's why you get fever and all this thing, fake virus to go in first, fake parts of the virus to go in first. And then it takes a while for you to, sometimes people get fever for a few days. It takes about 1 to 2 weeks for your antibodies to create the right B cell, and then to come out and create a lot T cells, so that they memorize this virus part, so that when this virus attack again, they know how to attack it. All right. So this is why vaccination is for that purpose. But whether the vaccination are able to produce the actual real parts of the virus when it attacks your body, the one that attack your body and the one that vaccine put in, is it the same exact shape? That I don't know if it's exactly the same exact shape. Okay, that one I've not done my research, so I can't tell you, right? But so far, the shape that they have injected in, all right, somehow the virus parts that they injected in, somehow it has produced, they prove that it can produce the T cells that can recognize that cells. Okay, so how do you get more stem cells? Well, actually, you don't get more cells. In fact, the number of cells you have gets lesser and lesser and lesser. In fact, your whole leg was a stem cell when you're born. That's why the red colored stem cells. You can see on the chart here, once you hit 7 years old, your feet is no longer a stem cells anymore, right? And as you get older, like 28 years old, your whole leg is no longer a stem cells. Only left your hip and maybe a small part of your ligament is stem cells. Okay, only your hip, your bone marrow, right? So stem cells reduces as you age, and usually at 65 years old, you're only left 10% of stem cells. Now the thing is, we all need to get more stem cells because we need stem cells to reduce inflammation, to repair the damaged part, and to also stimulate new cells to repair the part that is damaged by inflammation. Okay, so how do we get more stem cells? One is extracting stem cells from your bone marrow, your own bone marrow, and then later on they grow it in the lab and then they inject it so that the volume becomes a lot more, and they inject it into your bloodstream. So that's usually the way that a lot of rich people are doing right now. However, there's a natural way that's also proven, and this one was discovered quite a while back. Okay, it's called AFA. It's also named the Earth's first food. The first green thing The first green algae that appeared on the planet millions of years ago is called blue-green algae, AFA. And they discovered that this one, when you consume, and basically it's not just any AFA, AFA that has grown up in the mountain. And that's why there are people who buy ginseng, the quality is bad and good ginseng, because one is grown up in an island, in a mountain, and one is grown at the bottom of the mountain. So it does, the potency does matters. So this one that I recommend is actually grown from the Oregon pristine upper Klamath Lake. Okay, is well known for that. Okay, so this is the research paper I've shown you that proves that AFA, right, will mobilize bone marrow stem cells, all right, will stimulate bone marrow. How much? By how much? By 30%. Okay, in fact, within the first hour consumption, of the AFA, blue-green algae, you'll notice if a high percentage consumption of blue-green algae in concentration, you can see that there is a surge up to about 7 million more stem cells, up to about 30 million stem cells. Okay, so this one is 30 million stem cells. However, it will then drop, or 30% increase, sorry, and then after that it will drop, all right, and drop all the way down to at the end of 2 hours. So it will increase, suddenly there was a spike, then it goes down. Okay, there is spike increase and then it goes down. However, we also discovered that aloe vera, a certain parts, a very specific part of aloe vera, all right, grown in a very high up there in the mountain, right, has a compound, and they call it the fountain of youth, right? But basically, aloe vera, scientists discovered when they tested that it increases more than AFA, okay, and stays there. The increase stays, it doesn't reduce, right? The more stem cells increase and stays there even after 2 hours. So that's a 30% increase. You have 7 million more extra stem cells when you consume aloe vera to get a specific aloe vera part with AFA. So now you have 40 million. The third one that scientists also discovered is actually grown in Tibetan plateau. It's called sea buckthorn. Okay. Now this one is actually used in Tibet. Okay, in high up in the mountain, and they discovered when you take this, in the beginning, it doesn't go as fast, as high, as quickly release stem cells as fast as aloe vera. However, by the end of 80 minutes, it will overtake aloe vera and increase the number of stem cells by up to 40%. So imagine you can increase 40% more stem cells just by taking sea buckthorn berry. Imagine if you can combine all together. Okay, and by adding another thing called beta glucan, it actually can increase another 2 to 3 million migration of stem cells into the tissue. Basically, B-glucan help to facilitate, right, to bring all these stem cells into the tissue that is damaged or affected. Okay, so they realized that when you put beta-glucan inside, it increases the effectiveness of these stem cells to be channeled to the tissue where it's damaged. So this is very amazing. Huh? And all this was discovered by a scientist called Christian Deproux. He's a neuroscientist, actually started in neurophysiology. Actually, he wanted to study how the brain affects the physiology, and in doing so, he was helping, I think, with children with I can't remember what is the some children problems, and discovered that stem cells actually helps with it. All right, with the nerve problems, the nerves. All right, and basically he wrote 2 books on that, Cracking the Stem Cell Code and the Stem Cell Theory of Renewal. And basically what he did was he was the first and the only one, and until today, still the only one, that combined all those ingredients that I talked about today. So we realized that there's a triple power of RevitaBlu using your own stem cells. First, it reduces inflammation so that while your antibodies being created, yet you don't have to die from inflammation. You reduce inflammation significantly when you take a lot of RevitaBlu. And then at the same time, it will repair the damage and regenerate, right? Which is not possible with any other product there that tells you they can repair DNA and they can repair DNA and they can also provide antioxidants. All right, but this one can do that plus regenerate new cells. Right. So you can stem cell can, a lot of people also ask me, can stem cells help to diabetes? Yes. Okay, so these are the research paper that you can Google and type stem cells as stem cell increasing stem cells help diabetes. Yes, because diabetes, your pancreas is damaged. So pancreas is either damaged in many areas. Okay, sometimes it's the area where glucagon, glucagon is the one that actually helps to release from the pancreas, right? to actually release more sugar into the blood, whereas insulin is to remove sugar from the blood. Insulin, okay, insulin, when there's too much sugar, it reduce the sugar from the blood and taken by the fat. Okay, right? Fat will take out the sugar from the blood when there's too much sugar. So insulin and glucagon is need to be balanced. So sometimes when you take the product, when the stem cell is repairing, your blood sugar level can go up and down, up and down, up and down, yo-yo, until it normalizes. Because why up and down? Because while you're repairing the part that is producing insulin, right, your blood sugar will drop, and then later on at some point it will also then you go and repair the part that is the part that produces glucagon, and then you have an insulin spike, right? So basically, if you take these products together, when stem cell repair, you see there's a fluctuation up and down. But after a couple of 1 or 2 months, 3 months later, it should already normalize. That means your pancreas is already repaired by your stem cells, right? So you can take this 1 packet a day. Normally, if you are feeling unwell, you can take up to 2 or even 6 packets a day, all right? When you increase it, you just boost your immune system and you have just more stem cells in your body. It doesn't do anything else other than to make you become more stronger. I would say your cells to replace stronger, recover a lot faster from exercise. This helps to recover faster from exercise. In fact, anything you can think about your body that is damaged, the recovery rate will increase when you have more stem cells. Basically, that's as simple as that. All right, this one-of-a-kind product. It's not found anywhere else. So we learned in conclusion that our immune system can create 1 quintillion types of antibodies to fight against any virus and bacteria and fungi from the past, in the present, and into the future, and maybe in other planets as well. Okay, and people die from virus, bacteria due to not because they cannot defend, but because before they could even create the right antibody, create the right weapon, before they don't have enough time, hyperinflammation already happened. Okay, so when you increase stem cells, you can suppress inflammation, you can repair the damage, and you can regenerate new lung cells. We also learned that 7 steps how our immune system works, right? How the cells, when they attack, they will shut out, alert the macrophages that will at the rhinoceros, the big one, they'll go eat, and then not enough, they'll call for help, and the neutrophils will come. Neutrophils will come. Along the neutrophils, the fluid from the blood, the flood will come in and damage the other cells. And then plus the neutrophils do not know which is the exact virus. So basically, they just spill out poison all over and explode themselves to kill the virus. All right. And then not enough, your dendrite need to call for reinforcement. So your dendrite collect the parts of the body parts of the virus, take on them, travel to the lymph nodes, to the headquarters where you can find all the T cells, where all kinds of T cells are there, and they display the parts of the virus in order to find the right T cell, which is the 2 kinds of T cell, killer cell and helper T cell, right? The killer cell, once they found the right killer cell, the killer cell recognize that body part of the virus. It will then multiply and go and attack. How does it attack? Well, it's a whisperer killer. Okay, it goes to cells that are impacted by the virus or bacteria already, and then it tells the cell it's time for you to self-destruct, and then they kill themselves. Okay, I call it the whisperer killer. They whisper to the cells and the cell die. So they are not really killer T cells, don't really kill. They just whisper to the cells to kill themselves. Okay, and then you have the helper T cell that doesn't kill at all. But helper T cells, actually what they do is that they find the right, they actually go and encourage helper. They encourage the macrophages to wake up and fight even more fierce. Okay, and then they also connect with the right B cells. All right, the right beast. I call it the beast cell. Why are they a beast? Because once you activate them, right, they will shoot out weapons all over the place. Right, I call it machine gun cells, lah. Okay, beast cells. That's what I call. Okay, but technically it's actually called B cells. So basically, these cells would know what weapon to create, the right antibodies that specifically only kill this kind of virus, and then they multiply the soldiers and they go there and they start shooting the antibodies to kill that kind of virus. Amazing, right? How the body really works. And we learned there are 3 natural ingredients that we can use. In fact, 4. Right? We talk about AFA, the world's first algae living organism, the first food in the world, first green food in the world, AFA. And then we have blue green algae, and then we have the aloe vera, a special kind of aloe vera, special kind of sea buckthorn from the Tibetan Alps, Tibetan, yeah, correct. Sea buckthorn berry, and also the beta glucan. When you add together, it increases millions and millions of new stem cells into your body. All right. And we learned that there's only one scientist who actually created this and patented. So with great knowledge now comes great responsibility for your own health. Okay. If you watch, Spider-Man, you understand what I'm trying to say. So thank you for being with me. I hope today you really learned a lot. So go out and take RevitaBlu every day, because RevitaBlu can help you before the virus. If there's any new virus in the future, it's going to come. When you take RevitaBlu as part of the diet in a day, you know that your inflammation is being reduced and you have enough stem cells to protect your cells from all the damage that's going to destroy you. All right, from future viruses, future new virus that's to come. So thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing you guys, some feedback from you guys again. All right, thank you and good night.
Sourced from the Tibetan Plateau and the crisp waters of Oregon's Upper Klamath Lake, Jeunesse has developed a patent-pending formula enhanced with blue-green algae, sea buckthornberry, aloe vera, and coconut water. This botanical beverage mix is designed to help nourish and support your body. Introducing RevitaBlu. Formulated by a pioneer in stem cell research, refreshing RevitaBlu contains 3 legendary plant-based ingredients. Blue-green algae, also known as AFA, Aphanizomenon floss aquae, is found and extracted from Oregon's pristine Upper Klamath Lake. Blue-green algae is world-renowned as one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. Harvested from the Tibetan Plateau, sea buckthornberry is packed with antioxidants and has been used for centuries in Chinese, Mongolian, and Tibetan traditional medicine for longevity and vibrant health. Grown in tropical climates around the globe, aloe vera has been used for almost 6,000 years for its wellness benefits. Taken daily, there is no question RevitaBlu will be the go-to product for your life and lifestyle. RevitaBlu, your best you.